the importance of someone leaving the EU, England or anybody, is that the EU is the way Washington controls Europe. It's much easier to control an unaccountable EU Commission than a whole bunch of separate governments. As the professor, I think, was from Georgetown University in 2000, discovered in the National Archive, released CIA documents proving that the EU was a CIA creation. This was reported in the year 2000 in England by Ambrose Evans Pritchard in the London Telegraph. And so the whole political reorganization, reinvention of Europe is an American operation. And it's very much in Washington's interest, both as a control mechanism, but also as the political unity of NATO. Because without NATO, Washington doesn't have the foreign bases to exercise hegemony, the hegemony over Russia that they're willing to risk World War III over. People don't appreciate it, but right now, the tensions between Russia and the United States, due to Washington, are far higher than they ever were during the Cold War. So you see, that's why, I mean, the real importance of Brexit is that. It unravels NATO, and therefore it removes the ability of the United States to coerce the Europeans into a conflict with Russia. Well, it's just part of the neoconservatives asserting world hegemony. So that's a very serious problem for peace, because the Russians and Chinese are not going to submit to being American vassals like the European countries and Japan and Australia and Canada. So it's a recipe for conflict with two nuclear powers. There's no prospect whatsoever of the United States or NATO or both engaging Russia or China, much less both countries simultaneously, in conventional war. So the war would be nuclear, and there's no winners of that war. Life would simply cease. So it's very important in that sense that the political organization, the military organization that Washington has set up and for its imperial uses, for expanding its empire, opposing its empire, be broken up. And so that's why it's important for Britain to leave, because I think it would begin an unraveling, particularly now that the EU is used by the richer northern countries, the Dutch, the Germans, to loot the poor southern countries like Portugal and Greece, Spain and Italy, with the EU now turning on its own members. There's plenty of reason for the system to unravel. So if a major member were to vote to exit, such as Britain, that would probably be the death knell of the EU, and that would in turn lead to the unraveling of NATO. And therefore, this would remove the ability of Washington to cause conflicts